What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Budget Competitor. In today's video, I will be giving you an in-depth review of Eldlich Guru Control. We'll go over the card by card as well as an optimal turn 1 setup. If any of you are interested in playing a competitive deck that won't give you cancer in the future, I'm looking at you, virtual world, then I invite you to watch this video. This deck is fun, adaptable, recursive, consistent, and most importantly, interactive. So with that, let's get it. So to start things off, we have 2 copies of Eldlich the Golden Lord, and by the way, this is the most fitting rarity for any card that has ever been printed in the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! There's not much that needs to be said about Eldlich. We already know how powerful this card is, going first and going second, being able to pop your opponent's cards. Next is our Subterror package, which is pretty normal, pretty basic at this point. I have 3 copies of Subterror Guru, the Searcher, 3 copies of Subterror Fiendus, the Omni Negate, as well as a Special Summoner. Next we have 1 copy of Umastrix, the Banisher and Big Booty Defend, and 1 copy of Archer, the Whoopsie, I have run out of resources. Next are our hand traps. I have 3 copies of Ash, 2 copies of Nibiru because I hate VFD, and 2 copies of Effect Veiler. So before we go any further, you should know that I am not playing Cursed Eldland or Black Awakening. I know, but I have a very good reason. Ya boy is broke. But in all honesty, I've been doing just fine without it. At the locals that I've attended in recent weeks, I have made top 4, and while it does come up, it's not game ending. So, I have 3 copies of The Hidden City, 1 copy of Subterror Cave Clash, 2 copies of Cosmic Cyclone, and the 4th copy of Hidden City. In my mind, this is the perfect ratio of spells that you could have. Sure, Cursed Eldland and Black Awakening would be a great addition to this deck, but you will be going over 40 cards. Please keep note of that if you were playing Subterrors at more than 40 cards, you are a dirty player. Next up are our traps. I run 3 copies of Elixir of Scarlet Sanguine, 3 copies of Conquistador of the Golden Land, and 1 lonely copy of Haqueto of the Golden Land. We already know how amazing this setup is. Conquistador to pop cards, Haqueto to banish cards, and Scarlet to special summon from the deck. Next for our Subterror traps, I run 2 copies of Final Battle. Now I know there's a big debate going on whether or not you should play 2 Final Battle or 3 Final Battle, but honestly it depends on the deck build. Since we're playing Eldlich, we really don't need the 3rd Final Battle, but if you're playing pure Subterrors, you were going to need that 3rd Final Battle because you were relying heavily on your Guru. To round out our traps, I run 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence, 2 copies of There Can Be Only One, because I am in fact a dirty player, and my replacement for Cursed Eldland, 2 copies of Trap Trick. Now, it does banish for cost, but it plays around Ash. Well, that's it for the main deck, 40 cards in total. So moving on to the extra deck, we have 1 copy of Phoenix for back row removal, 1 copy of Cerberus to get rid of that Nibiru token, 1 copy of Unicorn to shuffle back problematic cards, 1 copy of Griffin for skill drain, 1 copy of Boral Sword for OTK, 1 copy of Appaloosa, 3, and 1 copy of Infinitrack Fortress Megathops because I can. That's it for the links. For the one and only fusion, I run 1 copy of Starving Venom. For Exceeds, I'm on 1 copy of number 5 Doom Chimera Dragon. Now I've gone back and forth on whether I should play Pleiades or this, and while Pleiades is great for removing cards, you do have to detach for cost. The upside of Doom Chimera is you can attack all cards that your opponent controls at least once, and at the end of the battle phase, you can attach a card from your graveyard to it, or you can choose 1 card from your opponent's graveyard and place it on top of their deck. Next is the Numeron package. I run number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4 for OTK, number C1 just in case that didn't work, and Zexal because it's funny. That's it for the extra deck. Moving on to the side deck, I run an artifact package of 1 Dagda, 1 Lancia, and 1 Scythe. Now I know I'm going to get crucified in the comments for only running 1 Lancia instead of 3, but if it's searchable off a Dagda, then there's no reason to run 3. Next is the Numeron package. I run 2 copies of Wall, 3 copies of Network, and 2 copies of Calling. Say what you will about Numeron, but when you can resolve Network to either OTK or Meg Zexal, it is the funniest experience in the world, and I will always take that over playing a cancerous card like VFD. And to round out the side deck, I run 2 copies of Ghost Ogre and Snow Rampant, and 3 copies of Super Poly. So with that, let's jump into the turn 1 setup. Alright guys, so here is your optimal turn 1 setup. Here's what you're going to want in your hand. Hidden City or Terraforming, Elixir of Scarlet Sanguine or Trap Tricks, Conquistador, it could really be any trap, but just for the purposes of this combo, and Disruption, it should be Conquistador, and then 2 other cards in your hand. They could be traps, hand traps, whatever you draw into, but this is for turn 1 optimal setup, what you want to see every game. So we're going to start things off by activating Hidden City, using its effect to get a copy of Subterra Guru from your deck to your hand, right there. Then you're going to go ahead and set that Guru into the far left zone so you don't get animated. Use your Hidden City to flip your Guru. Activate your Guru's effect to go ahead and add your Fiendus from your deck to your hand. Next you'll go ahead and set your Conquistador and your Elixir in separate zones from Guru. And then here's your hand over here. And if you have other traps, go ahead and set them. If not, then you just have more disruption for your opponent. And pass the turn, and that's your optimal turn 1 setup, because then on their turn, if they were to summon, like let's say you're playing against Dragon Link, I usually wait until they go into Crystalline Halqifibrax. As soon as it hits the field, I go ahead and activate Conquistador, Chain to Conquistador, Scarlet Sanguine, and that will go ahead and get a big golden boy from your deck, and then Conquistador will special summon itself and pop that Hulk and usually stop their combo. They might be able to combo off, but without like Link Cross or any other type of extender, they can't really extend past that anymore. But anyway guys, that's the video. I appreciate you so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, click the notification bell so you get notified each time I drop a new video, and give this video a massive thumbs up. And as always, have a great day.